Most people think that they are mentally strong until life hits them hard. But the real strength isn't measured by how loud you are or how confident you seem to be from outside. Everyone feels confident when the pocket's full of money. You only feel low in your confidence when you are struggling to put food on the table, when you are struggling to support your family financially, when you are facing rejections even after a lot of hard work. But you will be highly confident when everything's in your favor in life, wouldn't you? Just think about it. Pocket full of money, a fit, healthy body, well-dressed man who can talk smoothly. Wouldn't you be feeling confident? Yes, you would, absolutely, as there's nothing that you don't have which are needed to be confident. Nothing's missing. You get it, right? But the real catch is that the level of your mental strength only builds up when you face adversity, not when you have a comfortable life. It can only be measured by the way you behave when nothing goes as planned. How do you choose to react in a challenging situation? How do you maintain yourself under the pressure? And most importantly, how do you conduct yourself when nobody's watching? Mental strength is not a medal or badge of honor that you show off to the world to attract eyeballs, but it's all about your own personal development. It's about your inner strength, mental stability, and the power to go through anything that life throws at you and come out on the other side being an absolute winner. So, if you have ever wondered whether you are mentally strong or you are working on yourself and trying to build that strength right now, maybe, here are 10 signs that prove you are already stronger than the average populace. Stick around till the end to reflect on your MS score and drop it in the comments. I'll give you my MS score in the pinned comments as well. Let me know about yours. Comment. You balance emotions with logic. You understand your emotions, but you don't let your emotions take control of you. Instead of reacting on impulse, you pause, breathe, and you look at the situation through a clear, unbiased lens. You exactly know when it's time to listen to your heart and when it's smarter to think with your head. Now here's the truth. Most mistakes happen when we act purely out of emotions. In those moments, logic always takes a backseat, and whatever we say or do is completely driven by our feelings. Take anger, for example. Those times when you are angry, and if you don't calm down first before you reply, then you might lash out. You might fight or say things that are rude, harsh, and hurtful to others, which probably you didn't even mean at all. Later, when the anger fades away, is when you regret those words, but guess what? The damage is already done. I had anger issues myself. I still do, but it's much under control now with the growing age. In my early 20s, I have broken 10 to 15 smartphones out of anger, including one iPhone as well. Yes, you heard me right. Owning iPhones back in the day in itself was a big deal. But breaking it? That's whole another level of carelessness or stupidity, whatever you may call it. A decade later, I would like to think that I'm wiser now. There's a famous saying, never make a decision when you are angry and never make a promise when you are happy. And it's true, staying in control of your emotions is not easy. We are human and emotions are a natural part of us. But if you work on yourself, little by little, then you will learn to pause before reacting. And that emotional control is insanely powerful. You choose productive behavior. Choosing productive behavior. What does it even mean? You may have seen a lot of people who always say that they are busy, no matter what the occasion is, but they never have time for anyone else. Alright, understood that they are certainly busy, but are they productive? And what I mean by that is, just keeping yourself busy won't take you closer to your goals, but being productive will. Don't just work, but be effective so that you get the desired outcome from your hard work. Just being busy with loads of things doesn't necessarily mean that you are being productive. You have to understand the difference here. Choosing productive behavior means refusing to stay stuck in the blame game, making excuses, or self-pity. It's easy to point fingers or wait for someone else to fix things, but that doesn't move your life forward, does it? The real shift happens the moment you take accountability, because that's when you step into your true power. When challenges come up in your life, you don't waste time and energy complaining about it. Instead, you channel that energy into finding solutions, and that can happen by being productive with your work, by being result oriented and not just simply staying busy all the time. You understand that progress is built on taking action. Productive people don't just discuss what they could do, but they actually take the steps to make it happen. Now, this mindset makes you resilient. It teaches you to adapt, to grow, and to keep moving even when things get tough. And it earns you respect because people naturally value those who take initiative than just talk. Remember that it's not about looking busy, it's about being effective with the outcome. You embrace change even when it's uncomfortable. But if you can understand that change, though uncomfortable, is often the gateway to growth. Instead of clinging to what feels safe at the moment, you choose to lean into uncertainty with courage. You understand that real progress and comfort rarely coexist. If you want to grow, you must be willing to step outside the familiar. When unexpected challenges or setbacks appear, you don't waste time wishing things were different. You quickly adjust, adapt, and find new ways to move forward. Rather than fighting against reality, you accept it for what it is and look for the new opportunities. This ability to remain flexible makes you mentally agile and resilient. Where others see obstacles, you see new possibilities. So, embracing change doesn't mean you are never afraid, but it means that you don't let your fear control you. And that kind of mindset allows you to thrive no matter how uncertain life becomes. Take AI for an example. It's one of the biggest changes of our time. And while many people feel anxious about how it will affect our jobs and our daily life, but those who embrace it will be better prepared to adapt. AI is not something to fear, but it's something to understand, learn from, and use it wisely to our benefit. That flexibility of choosing to adapt instead of resist is what makes you mentally agile and resilient. And speaking of AI, in my upcoming videos, we will dive deeper into this very topic and explore the world of artificial intelligence very soon. We will learn what AI really is, its usage, and how we can prepare ourselves for what's coming. Stay tuned, subscribe. You face your fears that hold you back. Fear is one of our many emotions, right? It's a natural part of being human. But if you're mentally strong, then you know that you should never let fear consume you. Instead of letting fear dictate your choices, you choose to confront it. You understand that the things you avoid usually end up holding the most power over you, and freedom comes only when you stop running away. Whether it's speaking in front of an audience, starting over after a setback, or setting firm boundaries, by saying no, you refuse to let fear define your limits. You recognize that courage isn't about being fearless, but it's about feeling the fear and still moving forward anyway. Every time you stand up and you face what intimidates you instead of running away, you grow stronger, while proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you have imagined. Fear loses its grip the moment you act, and that willingness to act makes you unstoppable in the long run. There's a quote by Nelson Mandela. He says, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." I remember the story that Will Smith once shared about his experience of skydiving. He was so scared, but he did it anyway. And what he realized about fear from that experience is really amazing. He's so fun to watch, seriously. Let's hear his story once.
Skydiving is a really interesting confront with fear. You go out the night before and you take a drink with your friends and somebody says, "Yeah, we should go skydiving tomorrow." And you go, "Yeah, we'll go skydiving tomorrow." "Yeah, yeah." And you go, "Yeah." And everybody goes, "Yeah." And you go home by yourself, you're like, Right? You're like, well, I mean, they was drunk too. So then that night you're laying in your bed and you just keep, and you're terrified. You keep imagining over and over again jumping out of an airplane, and you can't figure out why you would do that. So you get there, and then you have this safety brief. And you're standing there, and the guys will tell you, well, if the chute doesn't open, what's going to happen is well, why the hell, what could happen? So you get onto the airplane, and you're sitting there, and you know, it's extra because you're sitting on some dude's lap, some stranger, trying to make small talk. Yeah, man. So you be jumping with people all the time, huh? So you fly, and you go up to 14,000 feet, and somebody opens the door, and in that moment, you realize you've never been in a freaking airplane with the door open. Terror, 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 terror. And then people start going out of the airplane. And the guy walks you up to the end of the thing, and you're standing and your toes are on the edge, and you're looking out down to death. They say, on 3. 1, 2, and he pushes you on 2 because people grab on 3. And you fall out of the airplane, and in 1 second, you realize that it's the most blissful experience of your life. You're flying. There's zero fear. You realize that the point of maximum danger is the point of minimum fear. The lesson for me was, why were you scared in your bed the night before? What do you need that fear for? Everything up to the stepping out, there's actually no reason to be scared. And then in that moment, all of a sudden, where you should be terrified is the most blissful experience of your life. And God placed the best things in life on the other side of fear.
You learn from your mistakes. Let me share a personal story. I discovered YouTube back in 2015, 2016. I didn't have Wi-Fi at home, just limited mobile data. So watching more than 4 to 5 videos a day was sort of impossible, as we used to run out of daily data limit. In 2017, I moved to another state for a job at an MNC. For the first time, I had Wi-Fi in my rented place. That's when I really started exploring YouTube. In 2017, I came across an American creator who deeply inspired me. I wanted to do what he was doing. But honestly, my situation wasn't favorable. I was living in a shared accommodation, earning very little to rent a place all by myself. I was never alone in my room to shoot a YouTube video. Finally, 3 years later, during the 2020 COVID lockdown, I started my first YouTube channel. Over the next year and a half, I uploaded more than 100 videos and grew the channel to about 20,000 subscribers, if I'm not wrong. It was a lot of hard work, honestly, but I loved every bit of it. Now here comes the unexpected twist in the story. Due to some reasons, I was forced to delete that channel. I was completely devastated. Add to that the passing of my father in 2021, I was mentally not in a good place. For a long time, I couldn't restart. But here's the truth. You only fail when you stop trying. I learned from my mistakes, took time to heal, and eventually came back with this channel's Success with Kumar. So remember this, a setback doesn't mean you're failure. Learn from your mistakes, rise again, and come back stronger. You can never fail if you keep trying. You celebrate other people's success. One of the clearest signs of mental strength is the ability to genuinely celebrate the success of others. When you see someone winning, getting promoted, buying a new house, building a thriving business, then you don't feel insecure or threatened. Instead, you feel inspired because their success is living proof that greatness is possible. Jealousy is one of the biggest distractions in life. It shifts your focus from your own path to someone else's journey. But here's the truth. Someone else's success doesn't mean that you are a failure. Their victory doesn't take away from your potential. In fact, it should motivate you to push even harder toward achieving your own goals. I mean, think about it. If your friend goes to the gym and gets fit and muscular, buys their dream car, or grows their channel to 1 million subscribers, that simply shows you what's possible. With consistency and dedication, it can be achieved, right? You can either waste energy comparing yourself, or you can actually, channel that energy into your own growth. Very simple. Mentally strong people know the real competition is not with others, but it's with the person they were yesterday. That's why you will see successful people won't judge you for starting from the scratch. Instead, they will support, uplift, and encourage people around you. They understand that success is not a limited resource. When one person wins, it opens doors and opportunities for others too. So if you want to build true strength, learn to clap for others when they succeed. Because when you celebrate their victories, you're not just spreading positivity, but you are also reminding yourself that your time is coming too. You live according to your values. Have you seen the Batman movies? I love the Nolan's trilogy of Dark Knight. In the movie Dark Knight, there's a powerful moment at the end where Harvey Dent, once Gotham's White Knight, becomes corrupted and is called names within his own department itself as Two-Face and whatnot. Now, to protect Gotham's hope, Batman makes a tough choice. He takes the blame for Harvey's crimes. The city sees him as a villain, but Batman knows the truth. He sacrifices his own reputation because his values like justice and protecting people are far more important than what others think of him. That's exactly what it means to live according to your values. Values are your inner compass. They guide your decision when the path isn't clear. For some, it's honesty. For others, it's growth, family, or kindness. Whatever they are, mentally strong people stay true to them, even when it's uncomfortable or misunderstood. I mean, think about it. If you value health, you will choose a morning workout over an extra hour of scrolling. If you value integrity, you will refuse shady shortcuts, even if it means slower progress. If you value learning, you will spend time on books or courses instead of endless distractions like doom scrolling all day. Living by your values gives you clarity and resilience. When life gets tough, your values act like an anchor, keeping you steady on your life path. And at the end of the day, you can look in the mirror with self-respect, knowing you didn't betray yourself. That's real mental strength. When you are not living for validation from others, but living in alignment with your deepest value. In the book Crime and Punishment, Dostoevsky says, your worst sin is that you have destroyed and betrayed yourself for nothing. Here the lesson is always stay true to yourself, because no matter how tempting it may feel to stray away, it will always return to haunt you later on. Know your values and never give up on them. You practice delayed gratification. One of the strongest traits of mentally tough people is the ability to delay gratification. In simple words, what it really means is that you're willing to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term gain. Think about it. When everyone else is spending money on the latest iPhones or weekend parties, you are the one saving, investing, or learning a new skill. While others look for instant results, you're playing the long game. There's a famous experiment called the marshmallow test, where children were given one marshmallow and told that if they waited, they would get 2 more later. Some ate it right away, but others resisted the temptation. Years later, researchers found that the kids who waited and didn't eat it instantly ended up performing better in academics, careers, and even in their personal relationships. That's the power of delayed gratification. It's the same with money. Choosing to invest instead of splurging. It's the same with fitness. Working out today even if the results are not instant. It's the same with personal development, reading, learning, and improving even when it feels slow. Mentally strong people know success is a marathon, not a sprint. They are okay being patient in the tough times when others quit early, because in the end, it's not the instant rewards that change your life, but it's the long-term wins that truly matter. Life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Play it accordingly. You focus on what you can control. Most people waste their energy worrying about the negative news being shown on TV, other people's opinions, or random outcomes which they cannot even influence. Now the problem is that it creates unnecessary stress, frustration, and a feeling of helplessness. Mentally strong people take a different approach. They zoom in on their circle of control. Things like their habits, effort, and mindset. That's where real power lies. Think about it. You can't control the economy, but you can control how much you save and invest. You can't control what others think of you, but you can control how much you learn, grow, and improve. You can't control the traffic, but you can control whether you spend that time complaining or listening to an audiobook. The moment you shift your attention from what's outside your control to what's in your control, your life changes. You become more productive, more peaceful, and more powerful. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you sail the ship, and that's what gets you to the destination. Focus where your power actually is. It's on you. Our last point, you bounce back from failure. Now here's the truth. Failure isn't the end. It's just feedback, and you have to take it that way. I cannot stress on this enough. Every successful person you admire has faced setbacks, sometimes massive ones. What sets them apart isn't that they never failed, but that they refuse to stay down. Think about Thomas Edison. When asked about his thousands of failed attempts at inventing the light bulb, he said, "I didn't fail. I just found 1,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of resilience. Mentally strong people understand that setbacks are part of the process. Losing a job, a relationship ending, a business failing, or even a personal mistake, it hurts, yes. But instead of looking at it as a dead end, they see it as a lesson. They take what went wrong, learn from it, and come back even stronger. Now remember this, you only truly fail when you stop trying. Every comeback story starts with a bounce. So the next time life knocks you down, don't waste time in self-pity. Take the hit, learn from it, and rise again. Bouncing back from failure isn't just a trait of mental strength, it's the foundation of success itself. That's it for this video. Take a moment today to reflect. Which of these traits do you want to have in you? Which small action can you take today that your future self will thank you for? Mental strength isn't built in a day, but every conscious choice you make adds to it. Start small, stay consistent, and watch yourself become unstoppable. If you found value in these lessons, hit the like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to Success with Kumar, because your journey to becoming mentally stronger has just begun. Take care. Bye-bye.